Good morning. It's day 6. I'm gonna bail off the Palmetto Trail today. Got a little change of plans. I looked online last night and I think I'm about 3.5 miles from my family's cemetery. My last name is Weeks, and there's the Weekses are from this area. There's a cemetery. I think the last person buried there was in '84. The last time I was there, I was probably 8. I think it was Hattie Weeks' funeral. I really didn't know her. My grandfather knew her, and my dad knew her. So I just remember being there, and I remember being in the graveyard and seeing all the Weekses, and thought it's kind of weird. But so I'm gonna go to that, try to find it. It says it's on Weeks Ridge Road, but there is a possibility that it's on the backside of somebody's property that I don't have access to. Yeah, that is what it is. So I'm gonna try to get there, and then I'm just going into North Charleston, get the hotel. That'll also make things easier for my wife when she comes to get me tomorrow on Thanksgiving. It's supposed to be raining tomorrow, and chances are I would be somewhere on the U.S. Forest, and she would have to go down a random U.S. Forest Service road in the rain trying to find me when she'd rather be at her brother's. So this way I'm gonna get the hotel. She'll come get me on the way to her brother's house, load up, and we'll head to his house. So it's getting a little bit of a late start. I don't have but about 26 miles if my if looking at things are right. Only problem is I think I do have to ride a busy highway. I can hear it now, so I may just look for side streets as much as possible, but I do have to cross a swampy, watery area. I don't know if it's a river or creeks or what, and so generally the roads funnel down to one road that crosses an area like that, and that's Highway 52. So that'll be my day today. Hopefully I'll be able to find this cemetery and get some pictures for my siblings and just see some of my ancestors. All right, talk to y'all later. All right, I found a little piece of damage to my bike. I've got the internal gear, pinion gear with the Gates belt drive, and it's got this little cap on it that goes, it's a little grease cap that fits on it, and you can just pop it off fairly easy to re-grease things. It has come off. So good thing today's the last day. I'll have to get another one of these. Hopefully it won't get too much grime up in there. I'll go ahead and change the oil and re-grease it, clean it and re-grease it when I get back home. But you can see right there's a cap that's supposed to go right there that has come off. It's already got a little bit of grime on it, so hopefully it won't do too much damage to the gears. Mostly road today. I am going to go back up to the dike to get to the graveyard. That will cut out most of Highway 52 for me. So I will be riding on some dirt. I imagine probably I lost it when I went under the train yesterday. I did have to lay the bike on its side to get it up under that train. So we'll see. See y'all at the graveyard. So I'm backtracking on the Palmetto Trail to get back to the dike, and I'll turn left and get off the Palmetto Trail on the dike. It'll still be on the dike. Got another railroad track up here. I don't think I'm going to be able to slide under that one as the train is moving. So I just sit here and wait for the train to get past. Maybe that's where my grease cap came off too. I did catch undercarriage bottle holder on the rail when I was coming over the railroad tracks yesterday, but I really think I lost it going under the tracks yesterday near Viper Road. So hopefully it doesn't damage the gears too bad.
I really like this guy. I like the system. Other than this, it's been very low maintenance. A little bit of soap on the belt every once in a while. The belt will start sounding like a saw. Yeah, I put some soap on it. Somebody said you could spray it with silicone too, get that sound away. But other way, you can just spray some water on it, get the sound away. Good news is I'm not obsessing over my rear tire going flat anymore. I'm now obsessing over the grease cap being off. You can actually see the gears turn now. They're not in danger of coming out. The grease cap just kind of kept the grease in place, but it is exposed to more grime and all getting there, so I'm kind of glad. I believe I'm off dirt roads from here on out. There may be a dirt road up near the cemetery, but I'm sure I'm not the first person to have knocked that cap off of their bike, off their pinion gear set. But it is on my thoughts now. I'm a worrier. Shouldn't be worrying on a bikepacking trip. But I think I should get to the hotel within 3 hours, according to how much, if I find the cemetery and how much time I spend there. Look at this, dang hill. All right, let's see if we can find the cemetery. The road ends here, it says no trespassing. Do not see a graveyard back there. Hey, is there a graveyard around here?
There is.
I'm a weeks. I haven't been here since I was like 8 years old. And I'm doing the Palmetto Trail. And I was like, I'm so close, I'm gonna see if I can come by and find it. So, my grandpa left Monk's Corner, you know, when he was a young man. He went to Florence. And then my daddy, he went to Rock Hill, and that's where I was raised. And I remember coming to a funeral, I think it was Hattie Weeks in the 70s, coming here. And like I said, I camped probably 3 miles up the road on the Palmetto Trail, and I was like, let me look. I looked up online, it's like, it's on Weeks Ridge Road. I was like, well, let me go. And then I know the plantation was called Tiverton. I saw the Tiverton Plantation Road. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. I remember there was a Jim and a Jane. They would come visit Grandpa. When Grandma got sick, Grandpa moved to Rock Hill beside us, and Jim and Jane would come visit.
And he was buried back here?
No, he's buried in Rock Hill. I just wanted to see the graveyard. Like, I think his father is Jacob Weeks is buried back there.
Okay.
And, so my understanding was, back in the Civil War, a soldier came up from Virginia, and I think it was
take you that way.
That way, okay. I think 2 Weeks girls tried to nurse him back to health, and he died, and they buried him. That started the cemetery.
Oh, okay.
And so I think I looked online, so the last person buried back there was in '84.
Oh, wow.
So, but I remember Hattie Weeks, and I guess that was either Grandpa's.
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
See, for Hattie Weeks. That was either Grandpa's sister or sister-in-law.
Okay.
And I think, and Jacob Weeks was my grandpa's father.
Back here, but I'm not sure.
I'm sorry?
I think I've seen that one.
Jacob here, yeah. That's the family name.
Okay.
Jacob, and well, of course, they're all the Scotch Irish. Yeah, there's a lot of Williams and back here. Well, no, see, there's somebody buried in 2020, so there are still funerals going on.
Yeah, I guess he was gonna come back here and try to clean it up because he thought somebody else was supposed to be.
Yeah, 2013, Robert James.
So there are a lot of weeks back here.
Yeah, I know that. It's funny, I started in Newberry and been riding. About the time I got to Sparkleberry Swamp, everybody's like, oh, there's a bunch of Weekses up in this area. And my boss, he He married a Weeks.
Oh, wow.
Well, my former, I retired. And whenever I'd mess up, he'd like, oh, that's just the Weeks in you. Yeah, there's a lot of, these are some new, so it is a still active graveyard then.
Yeah, as far as I know it is.
See if I can find Jacob and Hattie and see, I wonder if that's Jim and Jane right there.
Right in the back.
Right here. Jane and Jane, I bet that's Jim and Jane.
Is their last name Scott?
I just remember them as Jim and Jane, because they would come, they kept up with Grandpa.
Okay.
And so he lived to be 99.
Wow.
And so they would come up to Rock Hill and visit him. And I was a child, so I just knew it was Uncle Jim and Aunt Jane would come.
Wow. Well, it might be them.
Yeah, I bet that is them.
There's that Hattie Weeks.
That was, I remember I came to her funeral. I just remember I was a child and they kind of told us to stay off to the side while they did the funeral. And then somewhere around here is the old slave graveyard. It's unmarked.
Oh, wow.
And so I remember they've taken us by and said, that's the old slave graveyard. And it's
That's like farther back.
it was a good ways away. And from my understanding, most of the plantation got taken when they made Moultrie, Lake Moultrie.
Yeah.
I don't know where I think the plantation house was underwater now, where
Wow.
I think.
I know they
There's Jacob Weeks right there. So my brother has the portrait of Jacob Weeks hanging in his house.
Oh, wow. So he died 1912.
So Grandpa, he died late, I want to say he died late 80s, and he was 99, so he was born 1880. So yeah, that would be about right.
Wow.
My grandpa was old enough, he saw Wild Bill's Wild Wish.
Wow. Wow.
I remember him talking about that.
Billy.
Yeah, so that's my brother's son's name. Grandpa was a Willie. This is him. This is him right here.
Oh, wow.
That's the Confederate soldier. That started the graveyard. And so my brother did the
Well, they put him under the tree.
yeah, and that was, I mean, that tree's probably 200. Oh, it's probably 200 years old. But my brother did our genealogy, researched it all, and I think he found letters from the Weeks girls to this guy's father. And it was funny because back in the father was just concerned, basically saying, I hope he didn't say anything inappropriate in his delivery.
Right.
C.C. Weeks. C.C. Weeks. God, that name. What are the dates on that? That sounded familiar, but that's 1800, so. Joseph Weeks. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate this.
You're welcome.
Okay, that was awesome. I really appreciate her walking me back there. I would not have been able to see it. I did get to see some names that I recognize. I know Williams, the family name. Jacob Weeks. My brother has his portrait hanging in his house. It is really cool. So, Alan Weeks, I guess, the one that owns that property. And he's a little bit older than my dad would have been. Actually, a little younger. I wonder if they knew each other. My dad didn't grow up here. He grew up in Florence. All right. Let's try to get down Highway 52. Get to the hotel. Yeah, this is a spooky ride right here. There's no median, and it is lots of traffic. I gotta cross this bridge. with no median. Decided to get off the road. I can see other tire marks in here. Just a little bit slower going. It's just like riding a trail with cars zooming by you 3 feet away. But I prefer to go slow on this than to be on that pavement right now. I just have things like this I gotta work my way across. This is Monk's Corner here, which is a lot different than when I was here in the 70s. Wasn't much here then. It's all just getting swallowed up by Charleston now. All right, sidewalks. I can ride on sidewalks all day long. I have come to the conclusion that Berkeley County does not want you cycling on their roads. So I will just go slow, riding in the grass. I could just be on the worst road. It is a 60 mile per hour road. Local bicyclists may be like, you're an idiot for taking that road. Take this other one. But both Strava and Google Maps are telling me to go this way. So we'll get there eventually. This has been a slog. This soft dirt, thick grass, give me about a 6 mile per hour average. I'm hoping eventually as I get closer to urban area, there'll be a sidewalk, maybe even a bike path. I know there is eventually right at the end, but it's like I've been climbing a hill for an hour. We will get there though. I finally got on a bike path. That was 20 miles of just a death march. It was soft dirt, probably 4 or 5 inch high grass, so it was like a climb even though it's flat for about 20 miles. Took a lot out of me, so I got about 4 or 5 miles to go to the hotel now. I'm just gonna soft pedal my way in for a landing. We'll see you at the hotel. All right, I've made it to the hotel. That was a tough 20 miles on Highway 52. I had to get off of the road into the grass. Very soft ground, very high grass, about 5-6 miles per hour. I think I said earlier, it felt like I just climbed the whole way even though it was flat. So I'm gonna sit down, eat me a sandwich, get a shower, take a nap, and then I am ready for Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow. I am hungry all the time. It was a good adventure ride. It's not as easy as it looks on paper, being flat. It was one of the things when it's flat, there's no coasting. Everything is pedaled. And it was some tough pedaling at times. So right now, I'm gonna sit down and eat, get clean.
I was born in the hills of South Carolina.